I am very excited to welcome our next speaker to the stage. Ivette Alvarez is an exemplary student in this year's graduating class and a valued member of the Excel Academy community. She will enroll at Boston Latin School in the fall. Welcome, Ivette.
We have finally made it. We have gone through 4 years at Excel, and we are excited, right? But we are also sad, because we're finally prepared enough to leave, but there's something holding us back. That something is love. You may be considering, why in the Sam Hill is she talking about love? I'm not talking about love as in Romeo and Juliet. That's just irrational. I want to tell you about this other kind of love. The love that we have for each other at Excel. Though the last 4 years were hard, we became united. We became one team, one heartbeat. We became accustomed to each other's company. And we know that whatever school we go to next year, we won't see each other as a whole. The fact that we won't be a unit functioning together may bring some of us to tears. However, at the same time, we know that we will have each other forever. And in September, when we no longer go through the front doors of the front lobby and see Mr. Year's smiling face in community circle, we will remember what the past 4 years at Excel were like. No matter how hard you try, you will never forget it. Because that's what love does. It makes the memories of the good and hard times impossible to forget. And those memories will carry you forward. But you still may not be convinced. So let me tell you a few stories about this love that we have shared at Excel. We learned this love from our parents. In 5th grade, I believe no one was ready to come to Excel. But because our parents always loved us, they made us go anyways. Even when we would scream and yell, they drag us out of that house, backpack and the other belt in hand. No matter if we stayed till 12 or 2 in the morning, checking to make sure our periods were at the end of our sentences, they were there to sign our homework. When they were done, in later years, even when they were called at 7:30 in the morning that their child had the wrong socks after they just got home from leaving us at school, they ran out the door with coffee in one hand, the black socks in the other. Whew. You know, they did that just to get us the black socks that we needed. Now, guys, that's the struggle. But this is real love, because the parents in this room sacrificed a lot of their valuable time to do all of these things. Not to mention see our sports games, come to science fair, cook pupusas and empanadas for high school fair and teacher appreciation week. Even when they get their hands cramped from signing millions and millions and millions of papers, they still did it because they cared. Our parents taught us how to love by going through this journey with us. And as we move on, we'll know they'll always be there with us. So if the parents, in a second, please rise, and can the audience please give them a round of applause, because Excel parents deserve it. Parents, you may rise. Once we got to Excel, there was another group that taught us something about love. the teachers. Yes, the teachers. For example, teachers like Ms. Aponte, they gave time out of their days to help students that don't understand certain topics. They taught us funny ways to remember grammar, math formulas, and states and capitals. I still have that song stuck in my head. Teachers like Mr. Penguin showed us love when they took out the preposition bunny and made us rap. They could have been boring, but instead they took time out of their day to make these lessons fun and worthwhile to us. Teachers like Miss Long spent all of their money on bagels so that we don't starve to death. Okay, maybe not starve to death, but by the time it was 12:25, we were staring at Miss Stunts' Diet Coke longingly. Teachers like Ms. Grannon taught us art, but also used their free time to run groups like Young Women's Leadership Group and Art Club, designed the set for the Romeo and Juliet play, and made us an amazing yearbook, just so that we can remember these times we had at Excel. So now that we think of all these teachers did, and we remember that we complain about Ms. Heinrichers making fun of us, we see that she did it out of love. She was able to see something special in each one of us and say it in a way that would have made us laugh and not to embarrass us. Okay, maybe a little bit to embarrass us, yeah, just a little bit. Our teachers showed us love by doing these little extra things every day, just so that we became better people and can ultimately go on to change the world. So if the teachers, in a second, please rise, and if the audience can please give them a round of applause, because they loved us so much that they prepared us for the rest of our lives. Teachers, please rise. But our teachers and parents were not the only ones who showed us love in middle school. Ultimately, guys, it was us. For the last 2 minutes that you are 8th graders, I want you to travel back in time to that moment when you entered the doors at Excelorian Heights as 5th graders. You were given 20 demerits that first day because you were small and did not know the Excel ways. Together, though, we overcame that, and we started to learn to care for one another. We learned that not just to be excited for ourselves, but to celebrate others. Even when Mariali gets 100% on her tests, or when Bianca beat the whole school in soccer, including all the teachers, or when Chris Mary was like the best Latin dancer ever, or when Jimmy Chan showed off his great science fair project, and we all know he'll be kind of the next Albert Einstein. We may be jealous at times, but we have learned to be happy for one another. All those Kool-Aid chants and boom sizzles seem silly at the moment, but in reality, they taught us to celebrate, and that's what matters. We brought this love to the sports field when everybody went crazy about how good these teams at Excel were doing. For example, at the basketball playoffs, the boys cheered on the girls, even though they could have been home playing video games. Instead, they made excellent cheerleaders, Michael and Alexis especially. We brought this love to the dance. When everybody jumped around in a circle and then began breakdancing, we cheered on. We brought this love to homework. Yes, homework. When we would go on FaceTime and help each other to make sure we don't fail any assignments. We even brought this love to Burger King. When we would stuff our faces, but still encourage each other to make good choices, good healthy choices. While some of us might be sad to leave each other, this commencement does not mean the end, but rather the beginning of Excel, where we learn to take all these skills that we learn onto high school. The end would mean that we will no longer have anything to do with Excel. We all know that is lies. This love that we learned at Excel will help us next year to remember the support of our families, the dedication of our teachers, and the power of celebrating one another as we move on to high school. On your first day of high school, you won't have Mr. Pangburn or Miss Stunts telling you where to sit during lunch, or if you have to raise your hand during class. You won't have Yasmin there to help you with your math homework, and you won't have Isaac to make you laugh. Thankfully, you also won't probably have your mom bring in the black socks and embarrass you, but you'll have the experiences to make the best choices for you and your future. Remember this quote that Ms. Basim taught us. You are not born a winner. You're not born a loser. You are born a chooser. Whatever path we choose to take today, I want to say that you are all amazing because you did not quit when times got hard. You persevered. You stayed when you could have left, but you stayed because there was someone who loved you enough to make you. And maybe because you loved yourself enough to know it was the right choice for you. Maybe when your name got drawn for Excel, it wasn't out of luck, but much rather the destiny that you are today. Maybe high school will be difficult, but just like Excel, you will learn to see it as home. And when you can't handle the stress and feel as though you're about to explode, all of your Excel community cares for you and are there to support you. Know that you're never alone because you have all of us, and Excel will always be home. To conclude, I want the 8th grade to remember, the strength of the wolf is the pack, and the strength of the pack is the wolf. And because of our love, even when we are apart, we stand together as we go on to high school, college, and end up changing the world. Thank you.